I figured that to kick off today's Part to Prem episode, we'd see how NLBM was doing over in France. Of course, the former star man didn't have a work permit. I gave him away. I let him leave on a free. He's gone to FC Versailles. He's got 10 goals in 18, but only got a 6.71 rating. Naturally, I don't have the French national 2C league loaded, so these games are just quick simmed in the background, but it seems like he's adapting to life back in France okay. It brings a tear to my eye, but truth be told, I would be more upset if it wasn't for the fact that Brandon Charles has 31 goals at this moment in time in 28 league games. He is in some insane form. We are still playing really well. Today, the small matter of the FA Cup third round against Birmingham City. Let's run the intro and get into things, shall we? Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to Park to Prem. Today is episode number 36, and today is the FA Cup. We are currently third in the league and flying. We have played a lot of football since you were last here. Of course, last episode we were playing in the FA Cup second round. We also had that game against Chesterfield to end the month of November. We have played for a packed December. And for the first time in a little while, there has been a little wobble in our form. Now, I'm not going to panic and overreact too much just yet, but honestly, I think the main issue we've had is just players getting tired. Our players have been putting in a lot of minutes. You can see here, Benjamin currently needs a rest. He's not getting a rest for this first game at the very least, but I have had that message for a number of players. Brandon Charles has played a lot of minutes this year. In fact, if we just look at the Work the Space match stats view, we can actually look at the number of minutes certain players have played. Brandon Charles has played 2,668 minutes. It's not entirely surprising that he fancies a rest. That said, it has been a bit of a balancing act because I don't think we have sufficient depth to rotate completely, especially when you have a player averaging more than a goal a game. You kind of want him to play as many games as possible, and as we have rotated things and also not rotated things and played tired players, that has kind of caught up with us. So to kick off the month of December, we took on Yeovil Town. This was an absolute banger of a game. Yeovil are a team flying up towards the top of the table. In this game, we found ourselves 3-1 down after 25 minutes, and then suddenly Yeovil found themselves a man down. We came back from behind to go 4-3 ahead against 10 men, and then they scored in the 88th minute. 4-4. Good result, especially considering we were 3-1 down, knowing the fact that we came back from behind to lead 4-3, and they were down a man. It's hard for it not to feel a little bit like a disappointment. Anyway, since then, 2 clean sheets in a row against Maidenhead United and Barnet. Really, really convincing performances. Great to see Charles and on the score sheet. After that, we took on Eastleigh. This game was a 2-1 win. Brandon Charles and Will Merry with the goals. Will Merry, by the way, has announced that he wants to leave the club at the end of his contract in 18 months. I would like to think that in 18 months' time, he won't be good enough for our team. So, for at least for now, he's going to play for us. As you can see, he's had a bit of a run in the first team due to a couple of injuries. He's played okay in it. Maybe we'd offer him a contract if we're still in the National League and he wants to reconsider, but good to see him get on the score sheet here. After the Eastleigh game, a disappointing result in the FA Trophy. We lost to Boreham Wood. This game, a 1-0 defeat. It was a very even game. We actually had 2 goals ruled out for offside. Charles could have had a brace, could have got us the lead. As things stood, though, we couldn't find a breakthrough, and despite having a load of shots on target, to their 1, we lost 1-0. We did bounce back in the league against Weymouth, winning 2-0 against a team down in the league, but after that, Notts County came a knocking, a team who have been really underperforming this year, were hyped up quite a lot. You can see there was a little bit of rotation involved in the team for this game. Unfortunately, we lost 3-2, and truth be told, it wasn't all that close for a lot of this game. We were trailing for large spells of it. We got a goal back late on. I really tried to push for that winner, but we couldn't find it. And off the back of this defeat, we then lost to York City. Another team in and around us. It was a York away day. We did the mini golf. We did the cinema stuff. It didn't really take my mind off what was a slightly disappointing performance. They were 2-0 up in this game. We did rotate things around a little bit. We got a late goal. We threw men forward. It wasn't enough. And it was the second defeat in a row for a first time in a really long time in the league. In fact, the last time we lost 2 league games in a row was Notts County and York City, and that was back in August and September time. So yeah, that really gives you an idea of how good our form has been. Of course, the Sea of Green is also testament to that. The one silver lining, I suppose, is that we are coming back off the back of a win. Came against Dorking, really good result this one, 4-0, emphatic result, 2 goals scored from corners towards the end, resulted in Benjamin ending up on a 9.5 rating. But all in all, really really good performance, especially because Charles did get a rest in this game. That's right, top goal scorer on the bench. We won 4-0. Just Football Manager things. So we've rested Charles, so he should be ready and raring for the FA Cup. But just to quickly look at the league table, right now, we are in 3rd place. I think this might be the highest I've ever been at the point of a live commentary. We were up in 2nd before our back-to-back defeats. As things stand, Bromley are top of the table. Dagenham and Redbridge, who of course we've clashed with a couple of times in recent years, they're up in 2nd. As for ourselves, we are 3 points ahead of Hartlepool. Yeovil are behind. York City and Chesterfield have also dropped off a little bit since we were last here. So yeah, 3 points away from the team who are top. We have comparable goal difference to Bromley, who of course we beat earlier on this season. I still want to believe the automatic promotion might be possible. Now, of course, today we are taking on Birmingham City. Just as a little reminder, when we met them a few years ago now, we beat them in the FA Cup in the first round, 3-2. Back then, they were in League One. They are still in League One now. When you look at the other results, well, pre-season friendlies haven't been amazing for us, although earlier on this season, we did beat them 2-1 in a pre-season friendly, so I want to believe this gives us some kind of mental edge. Naturally, I'm not expecting us to win this game, but if we could go on a run in the FA Cup, it would be really, really useful. As we sit here right now, the club balance isn't actually too bad. This time last year, we were around negative 31,000. Considering where you look at kind of the finances and where they were at the start of last season compared to the start of this season, the fact that we are not quite so much in the red, I guess, is a good thing. And a large contributor towards that, if we just look at this season and last season, is the fact that in terms of season ticket sales, we've made £50,000 more this year. But also in terms of gate receipts, we did a lot more pre-season friendlies this year. That, combined with just some improved league attendances, already means that we've surpassed last year's gate receipts total. So lots of reason for optimism. An FA Cup run could help the finances even more. Speaking of which, let's discuss the team for this match. So ordinarily, December is an absolutely brutal month for teams in terms of fatigue, in terms of the fixtures. We are out of the woods when it comes to that, and the good news is our previous game was a week ago, so I have been able to rest some of the players. I mentioned it earlier, but Benjamin is in need of a rest, but today I feel like we have to play him. He's been one of our standout centre-backs as of late, a 7.4 rating. The good news is across the board, condition is very good with our players, and additionally, there is no injuries to speak of, so we can very much go in with a full strength 11. Our Conte, you might remember, got injured last episode. He has slowly been coming back to full fitness, but compared to the form that he had prior to his injury, his return has warranted somewhat less of a fanfare than I was hoping it would. Maybe today's the day he can turn it around. Out on the left-hand side, we have Falbo, who has been very, very solid, has been a reliable player, if not a player who constantly puts in massive average ratings. And across the board, this is pretty much the team we've been playing on the regular. Charles and Yer playing alongside one another. Yer has also been requesting some rest as of late. He's been playing a lot of minutes. In fact, you can see here, he has started the last 20 games in a row. We are quite dependent on him. In terms of Birmingham City squad, their key player is Zach Willis, who is wearing a school uniform. We're not going to question it. He actually looks like a really, really good little player. Has come through their academy. As you can see, was part of the team that played in the Championship a few years ago. Right now, if you're wondering, how are Birmingham doing in League One? Well, here you go. This is how they're doing in League One. They're in 14th, albeit with a game in hand. It's very, very congested in the mid-table, all the way down to the drop zone, to be fair. In fact, from Portsmouth in 6th to the relegation zone, there's 10 points in it. League One is very competitive. We are going to hope that today we can come away with a win. Birmingham are a good team. They're a team that we've beaten before. I want to believe we can do it again. We're going to be at home. Of course, if we draw this first game, we will have to play them in a replay. That will become the second game we do this episode. Our form has been a little hit and miss. Obviously, we've had some really emphatic results in the FA Cup. Hoping we can do more of that today, as we are going to be taking on the 4-4-2 of Birmingham. 15 minutes into this game, first highlight is going to be a corner, which we are going to get away from danger. Whenever we see a corner or a set piece to start things, I get nervous because our defending is questionable. I'm hoping the linesman's going to raise his flag. I'm looking over on the far side. He's not raising it. I don't know how that man is onside. I guess he was behind the ball, and we've just left him unmarked. Birmingham put the ball in. It wasn't a great corner initially. We dealt with it well, but, he's not marked there, is he? I mean, if he'd missed that, it would have been incredible. McDonald wasn't a million miles away. Unfortunately, first highlight, we've conceded it. It's not a great start, but look, head in the game. You know, we can get our head in the game. We can come back. We've just got to make sure that we get the rebound. Then the crowd will go wild. Why am I quoting High School Musical? Please help me. Right, we're doing some defending. Benjamin Gibua. Hanusek going to lay it wide to Falbo's, maybe going to look to move into the wide area onto his left foot. He's a player with pace and dribbling ability, speaking of which he's going to get to the byline and hopefully put in a ball of quality. Yor was under it, couldn't win it, and now Birmingham looking to exploit the space in behind. Why is this man not marked? Questionable defending, to say the very least, from us there. But the good news is we've been able to reorganise slightly. But again, that far side, Birmingham having a lot of joy. Ellis to Chilcott, who's going to hit it from range. And it's gone in off the underside of the crossbar. And if the first goal, we have ourselves to blame, that goal's just a moment of brilliant. I can't really blame anyone for that, can I? It's that kind of goal. It is a goal that makes you go, It's that kind of goal. In off the underside of the crossbar. That was sexy, wasn't it? 2 goals down from 2 shots on target. Not ideal, but let's not overreact just yet, folks. We can still come back in this game. Everything's going to be fine. I was about to do a shout out to Man More, but Falbo's over a free kick. Whip back post. Our Conte was lurking. Headed away. Is Gibua going to get there first? He gets there second, eventually. We've got the ball back. Williams is going to play it forward towards Charles, who hits it on the volley. Why did he not take a touch? He thought he was Mbappe in the World Cup final with that first-time finish. Unfortunately, he's a Vanarama National League goal scorer, and he can't hit the target with that kind of effort. You know what? 38 minutes played, I've seen enough. I'm doing the change. You know the change by now. We do it in any game where we're chasing. There are just certain matches where I feel like being more direct and hitting the wide areas is beneficial for us. Not sure how that's actually going to work against this 4-4-2 of Birmingham. But at the same time, we need to change something. We're not having enough of the ball. If we're not going to have the ball, let's just try and get it into some dangerous areas that little bit quicker. At the break, we're 2 goals down. It's a harsh scoreline, really. It's been a very even game with not that many chances. Despite all the possession they've had, it's not like Birmingham are penning us in, having a load of shots. It's not like McDonald's having a load to do. But at the same time, we are going to have to find 2 goals in this second half to, well, just secure a replay, if anything. So with that in mind, we've got to try and play a bit better in this half. Try and create a little bit more going forward. Hildreth plays it forward to Wakefield. 1-on-1, hits it, finishes it. It's 3-0. That is, as far as starts the second half go, that is as bad as it could have been. It was very, very simple build-up play in the end. Hildreth just playing it through to Wakefield. In the end, this finish, not an easy one to be fair. Finished it well, but just a bit too simple. You already know what I'm going to do. Wingers are going on attack. I'm not going to overcomplicate things and change too much more, but the wingers on the attack, it's worked in the FA Cup before. If it's going to work today, it's going to have to result in 3 goals, which even by our own standards feels maybe a tad ambitious, but maybe something can happen here. Yor goes down in a heap. Where's the penalty referee? The answer is there wasn't one. It was just a fair tackle. Okay, coming up to an hour played here, going to change some personnel. There is a part of me that just wants to take off the better players and give them a rest ahead of the upcoming league game. But you know what? We're going to remain positive. I'm going to bring in Tanner Jones. I'm actually going to keep our Conte on the pitch, but play him as a target forward, I think, again. Elsewhere, Falbo not played well on the left. Let's bring in Will Merry. I've got one last change, and I'm looking at Tyler Forbes, thinking, is it Tyler Forbes' time? I don't think it is his time. Hanusek has had a Western supermare of a game. I'm going to bring in Kite at deep line playmaker. Triple change made, going more attacking. Feel like 3-0 flatters them a little bit, but we've just not created enough here. Naturally, we are playing against League One opposition, so they probably should have been like 3-0. It's probably an accurate reflection of the difference between the team's qualities. Of course, that doesn't excuse them going up and getting a 4th now, although we are now just throwing men forward. There's 18 minutes left. I need 3 goals. I need a miracle. Do I just start praying to the FM gods now? I don't know what I'm meant to do. Hildreth, Linley, Wakefield. As we throw men forward as well, it just leaves so much space in behind. Hickman plays it forward to Ruiz Rente, who's going to put it into the middle. There was no one there. Now can we break? Our Conte finds Jones. What can Jones do for us? Also, why is Jones in striker? Our Conte's meant to be there. Charles has headed it against the post. I swear I position them like that. I definitely position them like that. Am I going crazy? I think Football Manager bugged out on me there. Am I allowed to reload the save game? The game bugged. It might have bugged out when we were 3-0 down, but I've still been robbed of a chance to come back. As far as I'm concerned. I'm clinging on to every little straw I can right now. It's not been a good day, has it? There's 12 minutes left. We could get a consolation goal for the home fans. That would be nice. Linley with the ball. Gives it to Chilcott. It's another year where we're making it to the third round of the FA Cup and then just not getting the dream tie that would really help out our finances. With respect to Birmingham, you are not a sexy football team. Wakefield with the ball, plays it inside to Masic. He's going to try and cut inside on his right foot. Goes on his own. McDonald, easy save at the end of it. Merry now with the ball on this near side. Can he bring it forward? Can he get it into a dangerous area, the number 7? He whips it in. Our Conte, glancing header. They had a shot that was saved. We've gone straight up the other end. Found the back of the net. Maybe it's not over yet. That said, we are going to need another goal rather quickly. And by quickly, I mean in the next, I'd say 5 minutes at the very least. Merry's been gifted the ball again, though. What can he do here? He shoots. Merry, what are you doing? He gets one assist and he thinks he's Bertie Big Balls, doesn't he? What was the point in that? Apparently, Harry Kite can play as a striker. I've got a plan. It might not be a good plan, but I feel like at this point, I need another man in the final third. Harry Kite, go forward. Play as an advanced forward, mate. Jones, advanced playmaker on attack. Or Conte on attack. I need another goal, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to throw a lot of players forward. There's 3 minutes left. It's a dream, if anything. I don't want to say the dream's dead. The dream's dead. We're out of the FA Cup. Well done, Birmingham. Enjoy your win. I want to say the result flattered them. They had a few really good opportunities, which I suppose is shown by the XG story. Kind of the chances they had were really high quality that resulted in goals. We did limit them, especially in the first half besides that. Naturally, as we chased the game, we didn't really have anyone in the midfield to end things, which didn't work out. But we tried. I don't think we disrespected ourselves with that performance. Apparently, FC Halifax boss Jamie Vardy was spotted. Jamie Vardy's gone back to Halifax. I love that. He played at Halifax in his career before he was signed by Fleetwood, then Leicester. And now he's Halifax manager. Who says romance is dead in football? Also, apparently he's looking at Brandon Charles, who he's a big fan of. Jamie Vardy, leave Brandon Charles alone. He's not yours to touch. Just as a reminder, by the way, Charles' current contract ends this year. He has already agreed to a new contract in principle that kicks in at the end of the season. So the attendance for that game against Birmingham was 4,781, which is a really, really good attendance at our ground. What it means for our finances is we're back into the black. We're at around £40,000. That's not too shabby. And just on the finances, you guys know already, but we have a lot of sell-on clauses. The big one I'm still keeping an eye on is Scott Williams. He's played his first game for Wales now, currently on loan from Blackpool at Sheffield Wednesday in League One, where, truth be told, he's not been playing that well. But with a value of 3.5 to 6.8 million, I am desperately hoping he gets sold in the summer. If he was to get sold for £3 million in the summer, we get... 30% of any profit, and we sold him for 230k. We'd get like £1 million if that happens. Imagine, that would be the dream, wouldn't it? Imagine a transfer special where I get £1 million to go mad. Oh, I'd be in heaven. Anyway, we have got to snap back to reality. Our next game, it's not the most sexy of games, but I've actually chosen this one for the away day. We're going to take on Oldham. Oldham were a team that once upon a time played in the Premier League, in the Premier League era, albeit before loads of money came into things. They are a team that in real life were relegated to the National League for the first time ever a few years ago. And when you look at things for them, it's been weird in this save game. They won the Vanarama National North last year, re-establishing themselves as a National League team. We're going to be taking them on at Boundary Park, which is built over 100 years ago. I'm hoping it's going to be a great away day. I've not checked ahead of time because that ruins the magic. I'll join you guys in a week for that game. And of course, the away day. Boundary Park, what are you cooking up for me? I talked about heading north last episode to Chesterfield and the fact we hadn't done that many northern away days, but I suppose Oldham is treading even further north into new ground, and of course Oldham is northeast of Manchester, and if we look at things here, Boundary Park is, well, it's here, it's marked, it's green, there's a road next door at the very least. I'm hoping there's lots of street view options. I'll tell you what, Kenyan Paints getting the money's worth with their sponsorship here. When is this ever spotted? Is this like near an airport? Is Manchester Airport near here? Why would you need it written so big on the roof? Or are they just relying on suckers like me to go on Google Street View to advertise? I mean, first things first, does this look like a stadium at first glance? Like, if you saw this, would you think football stadium? Because to me, it just looks like a regular house, but the floodlights give it away, and I suppose there is also a sign. It's not the grandest of signs we've seen, is it? Fret not, though, because someone has uploaded photospheres from during matches, so we can see a packed house here. This was October 2022. I'm trying to work out who the team in red that they're playing is. I'll be honest, picture quality makes it a bit difficult to tell. But I mean, look at this. This is a packed ground as well. considering the fall from grace Oldham have had. Impressive turnout and a proper old school football stadium as well. I'm a fan. I'll tell you what, as we go up the Football League, we're going to get more and more of this, aren't we? These drone shots. Again, Kenyan paints. I don't even know if Kenyan paints are good paints. Answers on a postcard if you've used the brand. I'm a big fan of this stadium. This is a proper old school feel, isn't it? Nestled between just a load of houses. Car park, solid car park, no painted lines. They lose a point for that. I think these are solar panels, so we'll give them a point for that. It's kind of mad, isn't it, going to this side of the stadium and how different it looked to the brickwork of the other side. I love stadiums like this. This is like a proper old school ground. I didn't realise, but I think this is on a big hill and this stand is actually set down a little bit. I'm sure there'll be some home supporters watching who can tell me all about it. I have no idea if this has changed in the last 10 years. This side of the stadium maybe could do with a little bit of work. You know, if this was a roller coaster tycoon scenario, I'm putting in some trees or some greenery or something here. I'm sure it doesn't look like this 10 years later. A really, really nice stadium. Classic stadium. Love it. Has just that vintage feel. And the fact we can actually look at it on a match day, like that's very cool, isn't it? I mean, it just looks very retro, kind of old school football. I think that the camera that this is taken on probably adds to that feel as well. Oldham, great away day, great stadium, no mini golf, 8 out of 10. I feel like I have started to take my role as kind of away day reviewer a bit too seriously. It's becoming a bigger part of episodes. Maybe I'm getting a bit pretentious about it. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is certainly a game I expect us to win. 3rd place versus 18th. Oldham only promoted to this division again last year. In terms of our team news, actually a few players missing for this one. Gallagher is suspended, Arconte and also Will Merry suspended. So we're a little bit light in the right midfield department. Jones is going to start out there. You can see he's actually had a pretty extended run in the first team as Tanner Jones. Hasn't lit the world alight, but hasn't been awful either. Gibua and Hanusek going to play in the middle alongside one another. The actual average ratings the last 5 games have been a little bit disappointing. I'm looking at Robbie thinking, yeah, you've been a bit meh, especially in your last 10 games. Needs to turn it around, needs to get a few more goals and assists, but if there's a time to get a confidence-boosting win against what should be beatable opposition, this does feel like that kind of match. Oldham going into this game with 3 draws and a win in their last 4. They're unbeaten in 4 games. Should I be scared? They're playing a 4-4-2. This isn't going to be like Birmingham all over again, is it? Like I said a moment ago, this is the kind of game that we should be winning comfortably, especially if we really do believe we are title contenders and a team pursuing a spot towards the top of the table. Yes, Oldham are in some okay form, but we have great players. We have better players. We've been flying high, and whilst we've been a little bit meh in our last few games, they have been difficult games at that, and by comparison, this is winnable. Hanusek, going to play it forward. Yor is there, and Yor has finished that sensationally. I'm hoping he's not offside here, because the finish was mad. He is offside. He is offside. Don't celebrate it. It was a great finish as well. That's annoying. McGuinness on the near side, the right back, throwing it to Yor, who's come short for this one. Gives it to Gibua. Back with McGuinness. Down the line, he's going to go towards Charles. Only one option in the middle, and it's at the back post. Does really well to hold it up. Yor goes down in a heap. It's going to be a penalty. I think it's going to be Charles to take it. He has a chance to add to his goal-scoring tally. I don't recall him missing a penalty yet this season, so I've probably jinxed it now. The striker steps up. Of course he misses it. Of course he misses it. I'm emotionally fine, I swear. I do worry now if we don't win this game. I'm going to look back on the 2 highlights we've just seen bitterly. 5 minutes left of this half after that really bright start. Nothing has happened. Oldham feel like they're growing into this game, but at the break, it's going to be 0-0, and I do feel like we might live to regret that missed penalty. Off the back of that, we've not done a lot. I'm going to tell the players it's unacceptable. My sister wanted me to tell them they're doing great. Absolutely nay chance I'm doing that. In transition, let's get to the flanks. Let's play wider. You know the change by now. This is a change we do where, I don't know, I feel like we have to change something. And whilst I could probably play the same way we have been playing and maybe grind out something, Oldham ended that half strongly. Want to just change up our approach a little bit, get the ball into that final third. I don't want to alarm anyone. Brandon Charles is on a 5.9. That probably is because he missed the penalty, though. I want to be annoyed with Charles and taking him off, but I do feel like he's the kind of player you do just have to keep on in this kind of game. In fact, you know what? I'm looking at our bench and with all the suspensions, we don't have the options we normally have to bring on. I'm not going to change anything too prematurely here. I'm going to give the players an extra 10 minutes to try and turn this ship around. Oldham looking to go long. McGuinness clears it emphatically at right back there. That was really nice. Hanusek now giving it to Charles. He's going to lay it to Yor. Players rushing off ahead, including including Yabua, who's only scored 1 goal this season. Could he score a second? In fact, I can't count. According to the game, it's his third. I'll trust the game's right. It doesn't matter. I don't care. We're a goal up, and Charles has turned provider there. Maybe I should forgive him for missing the penalty. Really nice build-up play here. Yabua just snakes in behind. Why is he sliding so much? Did you see that? He was like he was rollerblading. Are you allowed to wear rollerblades in football? I don't think you are. Either way, doesn't matter. Don't care how he's finished it. It's in the back of the net. Unfortunately, Oldham are now on the attack. Ball forward into the box. Don't give away a penalty. Don't give away a goal either. Owen has scored in off the post. That lead lasted 2 minutes. I know I should be annoyed with the goal, right? Can I take 2 minutes to complain about this brick wall in Football Manager? Often it's on the far side. We are in the year 2023, and this is acceptable graphically, this pixelated brick wall. I know loads of people have ideas for stuff they want to change for the game. Sports Interactive, if you're watching this, my plea for the January update, or the winter, whatever you want to call the update with all the transfers and little changes, fix the brick walls, please. Also, if you could fix the number of goals that come from throw-ins in the corner. It feels like it's quite high, especially from that kind of area. It's 1-1. I think I'm just bitter at the result, but that wall is a travesty. It does make me angry at night. Speaking of throw-ins in the corners, we've got one of our own, although on this occasion, Oldham are going to deal with it well, missing to Bartele. Playing it forward, do not miss your header, Benjamin. He's done well and won it. Yabua, the goal scorer, lays it to McGuinness. He's going to go down the line to Jones. Charles is in the middle. Yer is too, and I'll tell you what, Yer has finished that in Di Canio style on the volley. And, well, Jones has an assist. He probably is overdue 1 or 2 of those. His passing's never been his strong point. But on this occasion, he's picked out the pass. You know what? We've scored a goal, and I'm still using it as a chance to slander Jones. I should be kinder. Yer, a player who is known for his heading ability, on this occasion, getting a bit flexible, volleying it in rather nicely. I do now feel justified in my decision not to change things right away. Falbo's looking complacent. I'm going to take him off and bring in Zach Atkinson, who I have been slowly kind of reintegrating into the first team. Of course, he got suspended in the 3rd game of the season. I've got annoyed with him since then. Portsmouth are annoyed I'm not playing him more. He doesn't deserve it. But today he gets a chance. Elsewhere, Hanu Sekamachi are going to take off for Kite, and we're going to hold on to our last sub for now. And you know what? I'm actually going to do a change. I have been doing a little bit this year. I'm going to drop Yabua into Segundo Volante and Kite, or it would be Hanusek on occasion, into a defensive midfielder area. I feel like just dropping the 2 centre mids deeper gives us some really good defensive solidity. And in the kind of final 10 minutes of this game, I think that could be required. 2 minutes plus any added time. I was hoping for a more comfortable result than this, but as I stare intently at the clock in the left, willing it to trickle away, I'm starting to believe we are going to get the win here. It's not been pretty. We missed a penalty, but ultimately, we've grinded out results. And if you want to be a team that gets promoted, grinding out this kind of game where there was a risk it could get away from you, having missed a penalty, having had a goal ruled out, we've stuck to our guns. We've adapted okay through the game. And with that win, we're suddenly up to 2nd. I say that, Dagenham and Redbridge weren't actually playing a game at the same time as us, so they've got a game in hand. But still, we're above Dagenham and Redbridge for now. Brandon Charles, by the way, top goal scorer with 31 goals. The next highest is Ricky Jade Jones. This man used to be an absolute monster in Football Manager, with like 20 pace and 20 acceleration. I don't know if he's just not very good this year. I mean, he's got 22 goals in the National League, so he's not terrible. But, yeah, he used to be ridiculous in FM. I'm kind of surprised he's playing down this low. I'm hoping that with that result there, we can get a bit of momentum going. I'm looking at our upcoming games: Boreham Wood, Boston United, Aldershot, Hartlepool. Games that we should be winning. I have just noticed that we have got Hartlepool and Dagenham and Redbridge back to back, although that is not too far away. Kind of thinking ahead now to what matches we do to end the season, because we could be in a title fight. The Dagenham game could hold some real significance. Either way, your next dose of Park to Prem will be coming next week, so get ready, get it marked down in your calendar or your phone reminders. Do people still use calendars? I'm not sure. At least not for YouTube videos, although I don't think anyone's ever used calendars for YouTube reminders. I digress. We're back on Monday for more action. That's all you need to know. I'll see you guys here in a few days' time. Have a lovely weekend. Have a lovely rest of your Friday. I'll see you guys soon. Until next time, it's me, Jack. I'll see you in a bit. I'm out.